didn't actually think it would ever be this possible to be so hot and sticky in Scotland, but here we are. It is probably officially the hottest day of the year. I don't know in how many years, but I think it said today that the temperatures would be as high as maybe like 37 or something like that in London. I've maybe completely made that up, but I know for a fact at the moment in Glasgow it's 30 degrees. 30 degrees in Glasgow. I mean, where am I? How has this happened? Now, here's the thing. I'm not a complainer about the heat. No, never. I would take this weather any day over cold weather or rain. Any day of the week. I know a lot of people will be like in offices just now, or like myself, nurses in hospitals, hating life because they're stuck in a hospital. But I would still take this weather any day over cold weather or rain or sleet or snow or fog, all that kind of crap. I hate it. So I'm not complaining about it, but I just cannot believe it is 30 degrees in Scotland. Do you believe this? Can you believe this? This is another tangent, you know how I like them. This is going to be my monthly favourites. Now, last month I'd said I wanted to talk about things that I was loving and not loving so much, but actually this month I don't think I have anything that particularly disappointed me. So for that reason, I'm just going to talk about things that I've tried this month and been loving. A couple of them I have spoke about before because they are repetitive favourites, and although I know some people wouldn't like me to like just churn out the same stuff every month, it's very, very difficult. I'm not going to just pick up things and be like, oh, this was my favourite this month, you know, buy something new when I don't require it, I don't need it, I already have something that's doing that job. So with all that being said, let's get this started. Also, I may as well introduce you to Bob here. I don't know if we're going to call him Bob, but he's absolutely flipping huge, and in this heat I was not putting foundation on. I could not be chuffed. So I do have a little bit of concealer over the top of him, but he's that big that it's not really hiding him. Anyway, so first of all I'm going to talk about, you know, I like to talk about books, TV programmes, things like that. So I figured I would start off with TV programmes I've been loving this month. It will be no shock to anybody if you follow me over on Instagram to know that I have been adoring Stranger Things, or adored Stranger Things. Watched it within 3 days maybe. It was great, it was fabulous. I think there's a lot of kind of, is controversy the right word? Oh, bloody cats again, sorry. I don't know if controversy is the right word, but there was quite a lot of people didn't love this series. Quite a lot of people think it's starting to get overdone. They're going to ruin it. They should have left it where it was. That's, you know, the end of series 3. That should be enough type thing. But I think if anybody's watched it, I'm not going to give you any spoilers, but there is a good chance there might be a series 4, I would reckon, from the way it was left. And I do have a fear that it might end up going a little bit like, they've ruined it now, haven't they? From it being so incredible to going into that way. But I didn't feel that from series 3. I thought it was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. Alan, on the other hand, was a bit like, meh, I could take or leave it. Like, he enjoyed it, but it wasn't as good as the first 2 series as far as he was concerned. I thought it was equally as good. I really enjoyed it. I love the nostalgia of it. I love that it makes me think of what I was like watching things like The Goonies when I was a little kid. Like, I love that aspect of it, and I think if it had been based in this day and age and with the things that go on in it, I probably wouldn't have watched it. I think because it's based in the 80s and I watched things like that growing up, it's more believable for all the weird stuff that happens in it. I can believe it because I think if I'd watched it as a child, I would have believed it. Does that make sense? The second thing that I want to talk about is Unabomber. I don't think this is a new programme to Netflix. This is based on a real life story about the man who was posting bombs in the mail, I think throughout the kind of 80s and early 90s, I want to say, certainly that's what it suggested in the programme, and about how the FBI and one agent in particular kind of cottoned on to who it was because of the way that he wrote his notes and things like that that came with the bombs, and well, didn't come with the bombs because they'd have been blown up, but sent bombs to the, or letters to the FBI regarding the bombs he was placing. I thought it was really, really good. I've not seen loads of people speaking about this, and it was actually Alan had said to me, oh, so and so said this is good, should we watch it? And we did, and I thought it was really, really good. Well worth a watch. If you haven't heard of it, check it out on Netflix, go and have a wee look. And finally, I think I want to say the 6th season of Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. Is it the 6th season? It might be. I love Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. It's Jerry Seinfeld picking up other comedians, or sometimes they're more actors than comedians, or comedic actors, I would say, not necessarily all stand-up comedians, picking them up, going in really either really fancy cars, really weird cars, sometimes weird and wonderful like motorbikes with a sidecar. Like, there's lots of different kinds of vehicles that he picks them up in, and they go and get coffee. I think it lasts about 20 minutes an episode. It's not terribly long, but it's a really good watch. Some of my favourite, I really liked the Sarah Jessica Parker one. I thought she was really good. Jim Carrey was very good. I think in this most recent series, Seth Rogen's in it. There's actually quite a lot of, Eddie Murphy's in it too. There's a lot of big names in this most recent season. But I think it's a great programme, and if you've never seen it before, it only takes 20 minutes an episode. Give it a watch. If it's not for you, fine, but you should go and check it out. If you like kind of comedians, you like comedy, go and watch it. I'm then going to talk about a book. It is Chernobyl. I have not finished this yet, as you can see. That's how far I am into it. This, I suppose, is kind of on the fence one at the moment. It's just started getting good. And as you can see, I'm probably, what chapter am I on? Chapter 7. It takes a lot of getting into. I know that they brought a Chernobyl programme out on Sky Atlantic, and lots of people in my work were saying that was really good, you should go and watch it, amazing. But I just picked up this book when that came out, and I thought I'd rather read the book first than watch the TV programme. I'm not generally kind of particularly snobby that way, but if I have got a book to hand, I would rather read the book before I start watching the TV programme. And it's taken me so long to get to chapter 7. Part of that has been because I've been on consistent night shift for quite some time, but also I feel like with all the kind of Eastern European names and Russian names, all that kind of, what's his name, is it Sergei, like the meerkat guy? Lots of unpronounceable names to me, because I'm obviously a bit of a pleb that way. I'm finding it quite hard to keep track of who is who. It's quite political to start off, because they obviously lay down a background of what was going on in the Soviet Union, how the world was at that time, and I feel like this is going to sound really stupid, but if it was like, oh, and Jim Smith was the president, and obviously at that time Ronald Reagan was the president, but the president or the prime minister of Russia, the head of the KGB, different people in different sectors of the kind of Soviet Union at that time, they've all got really funny names, and I was finding it really hard to keep track of who was who. I have now got into the actual evening of the Chernobyl explosion in Pripyat. I want to say that's how you pronounce it again, not absolutely sure. And it's started to get very interesting. It's a little bit more, okay, so here were the steps that led up to it, and here's what happened, and now we're just getting into the aftermath, hours after the actual incident occurred. And obviously, as you can see, I've got quite a bit to go. It's a hard read. I'm not saying it's one of these ones you pick up and think, oh, I'll just breeze through this on my holiday. I think it's quite a tough read, and maybe that's me speaking for myself. Like, I'm not a particularly knowledgeable reader, but I do like to read factual things every now and again, and I'm still finding it quite difficult. In saying that, it's starting to get good now, and this is a more kind of real life situation. I'm not saying this was necessarily what the programme on Sky Atlantic was taken from. It's an actual basis of events. So, in saying all that, I am enjoying it, but it's a tough read. Like, I'm getting there slowly. Alright, moving on to maybe clothes, accessories, that kind of stuff. I'm going to put a little photo in here. I recently went to Ruby Woo Boutique, which there is one in Shawlands, and I want to say there's one in the West End as well. You know, they've been there for quite some time. I will link their website down below. They are very easily found. It's one of these kind of wee standalone boutiques, and I don't know who their suppliers are, but they buy off different suppliers. And I got this yellow dress. I wore it to the beach a couple of weeks ago. We went down to see some friends and we had a lovely barbecue, and it is a glorious dress, so nice. But I also picked up some jewellery, and what was the name of the jewellery? The jewellery was from a company called Big Metal London. The two pieces that I got are kind of more, I suppose, bee inspired. That's the earrings there, so they're actually like silver and then gold in the bottom, this kind of honeycomb effect. Drop earrings. I think they are absolutely stunning, and as I say, these were from Big Metal London. I don't know if they've got a website. I'm just looking at the little card that the earrings came off, but if I can link their website below, I will do that as well. And the other piece that I got was, the second piece that I got was this here. It's like a little bee necklace. I hope you can see that. And I think it's so nice. It's really pretty. It's kind of orange enamel in the middle and then gold. Just a wee drop necklace. It actually has lots of links to make it longer and shorter if you want. But I really think it's really pretty. They had quite a lot of nice stuff actually from that company. So I'll need to check out their, see if they've got a website, and I will link it below if they do. Now moving on to any beauty bits, skincare, etc. I'm not going to go into too much detail. As I said, there are some repetitions this month, but I continue to enjoy the Cetaphil moisturiser. It's fabulous. It's 30 degrees outside, you're needing your SPF 50. Really good. I don't find it to be particularly greasy. I don't mind looking a little bit shiny, so it's all right for me. I don't know if other people, it's meant to be a light moisturiser, I've said this before, but other people might find it a little bit heavy. I think it's wonderful. The next thing I'm really enjoying at the moment is tonal makeup. What the fuck is tonal makeup, I hear you ask? Well, I've been finding that I've been doing kind of one shade all over. In this heat, there's been very little makeup going on the face. It has to be said. Who's could be arse, like not me. Bit bronzer, bit eyelashes, lip balm. I'm good at that. What I've been doing is more tonal makeup. I actually was considering maybe doing a wee series of tonal makeup. Now I'm gonna look something up. If I can't find it, then I might not put a photo in. If I can, then I'll insert it here. I remember years ago, not personally because I'm not that old, but Biba back in the 60s and 70s, like they done obviously clothes, but then they done makeup as well. And I remember there was a whole kind of campaign around them doing things where in the 60s and 70s you would wear, you know, green lipstick, green eyeshadow, green blush, green mascara, which sounds flipping horrific, right? But when done correctly, I think tonal makeup is spot on. So today, it's not strikingly obvious, I would say, but I have got on like a kind of orange goldy glistening eye. I've came in a little closer. This right here, this is just a spot. This is freckles because I couldn't be arsed, and this is bob, as we said earlier. I do have in the waterline, however, you might see it in this eye better, a NYX product that I've been loving, and it's the Off Tropic Pro Liner. Now these came in all sorts of weird and wonderful bright colours. So that's the orange one there, and this camera does it justice. This doesn't look as bright as it does in real life. In real life, this is like fluorescent orange. And in the waterline, can you see there? Just a little flash of orange. I think that's really nice. I've been wearing it with an orange lip. Again, just a kind of soft orange eye and orange blush. So kind of tonal makeup, all the one colour makeup. Now talking of tonal makeup, I have cracked this out again. This is my Lancome Juicy Shaker in Grapefruit, and it is so easy and just, it's more like a lip oil, isn't it? I think that is what it is. Is it marketed as a lip oil? I think so. And I love it, and it's so easy to put on. It's mess free. You know, summer heat, that's all you need. That's me, I'm happy. The Burt's Bees All Glow Stick, again, loving a sweaty glow. Like, yes, people will look at me and be like, you're so fucking greasy, but I would rather look like this than look, if I had a full face of makeup on, I would probably look much older than my 32 years would suggest. I've done a post recently on Instagram actually stating about that, because I think a lot of people like a glow nowadays, but I think there's a difference, isn't there, between youngsters, like I'm talking like young teenage to maybe early 20 range, doing the whole almost drag makeup, where they've got very contoured, very matte in places, very like full makeup and a kind of highlight right here, whereas I just want to kind of look sweaty all over. Which moves me on to my next thing, which is the Makeup Academy. Now, Makeup Academy from Superdrug is a very, very affordable brand. They have been about for a while now. I want to say about 5 or 6 years. They've been about for a wee while. And this is their kind of base sticks. Now, I know Milk Makeup brought out base sticks. They've done all different things. There was a mattifying one, a glow one, they've got a bronzing one. I think they've got like a cannabis one, which is, and then they've got like a refreshing melon one, is it? They've got lots of different hydrating sticks. This one is the softening facial oil stick, and that's exactly what it is. It's clear, so I don't think it doesn't give you any colour or anything like that. It's just a clear stick, and exactly what this does is you put it on your face and it makes you oily. Now, a lot of people be like, hell no to that, that is not what I want. I have sometimes put it on top just to give me that dewy look, but I find the Burt's Bees stick is doing what I need for that. This is basically like the middle of the Burt's Bees stick without any tint. So sometimes what I've been doing is putting this on, like I do my moisturiser, I do all my skincare, let all that soak in, and then just before I go to put any makeup on, if I am, I'll put this on, rub it in, again let that soak in for a minute, and then apply either a BB cream or maybe just concealer, depending on what I'm wanting that day. And yes, it does make you look greasy, like I'm not going to sit and deny that, and maybe even in this area it's greasier than some people would like, but again, I like looking kind of glowing and dewy as opposed to overdone now. And I don't mean that against anybody who likes a full face of makeup. If you like that, then you do you. But for me personally, I find it is more youthful and flattering if I look a little bit greasy. So I've been loving this. This is very inexpensive. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I want to say could be anywhere from £1 to £5, like maybe £6, if that. I'm sure it was about £4. I'm just running through all the pounds now, aren't I? But I will link below the price of it because I can't remember off the top of my head. And I think it'll last me a long time. What's the life on it? 12 months? We'll see if I'll be able to use it next year. Vitamin C. I done a whole video on The Ordinary, a very in-depth video. I will link it up here. Sorry, my bangles are jangling there. I will link it up here though because it's very in-depth and it goes into great detail about all the Ordinary products I have used and what I liked and what I didn't like. I did speak about this vitamin C in that video, so if you want any more information on it, then go and watch that. But I'm going to put it in this month's favourites. I have been using it for, let's say, maybe about 8 weeks now, maybe 2 months, but I didn't want to put it in a video last month because I still wasn't very sure, you know, can I classify this as a favourite or not? But I think I am going to put it into favourites this month because it's so affordable. It's a stronger strength than the Kiehl's one that I spoke about earlier in the year, and for that reason I think it is deemed its award as being a favourite. It works the same way, does the same job for a lot less money. And saying that, the actual texture of it and the feeling of it, I prefer the Kiehl's one. But the Kiehl's one is probably a kick in the arse of £50. It's 40 odd pounds something. This is buttons, absolute buttons. This is, I want to say £6 or something like that. Again, I'll link everything below because I'm useless. But when I think about it that way, I'm like, all year round, yeah, I'm gonna use this because there's still on the fence things about whether vitamin C is working, whether it's really doing anything, if it penetrates the skin. The best way to get vitamin C is to eat it. That's the absolute truth. The best way to get a lot of things that is good for your skincare is to have a good balanced diet. Drink a lot of water. I know you've all heard it before, but it is true. And then I have 2 brow products. Now these were in last month's favourites because I was, well, they were more the ones that I wasn't sure about at that point because I had just started using them. But the Kiko Precision Eyebrow Pencil, this one is in number 2. I would say it's probably more of a greyish kind of, it is definitely lighter than my hair, but I think that's okay in my eyebrows. I don't want to be too dark. It has the little spoolie brush thing on the end here, and I think it works quite well. I will not always use this through my eyebrows. If I'm doing the extra effort, then yes, I will use this. I really like how thin it is. It is a tiny pencil, like I said in the last one, like one of those novelty ones you used to get in gift shops. And I really have been enjoying this. Again, very affordable, very accessible, love it. And then the e.l.f. Wow Brow. Now this one I had literally just kind of put my hands on in the last favourites when I was talking about it. I really wasn't sure about it. Now I got this in deep brown, and I have to say, although the brush, I would prefer it if the brush was like Boy Brow from Glossier. I'm not gonna lie, the brush is slightly a little bit big. I would prefer if it was tiny, a little bit tinier. But it has little fibres in it, it's the right colour, it's not too dark. I was finding with some of the little eyebrow gel type mascara things that they probably would have worked on someone with a deeper skin tone, because if you're putting a dark colour through your brow and it's putting a little bit of colour at the back of your brow or just giving you that little tint through them, if you've got very pale skin, it is much more apparent on very peely-wally skin like me. Even when I've got a tan, it's still more apparent. And I would find it would streak sometimes, or there would just be too much darkness. It would be really obvious there was something in my brows. This isn't like that. It's not too dark. It just seems to be the right consistency, and I'm really enjoying it. Will it overtake Boy Brow? I think I still prefer Boy Brow, but as I've said, hello. What is she doing? But as I've said, you know, I don't automatically, I can't just go in and buy Glossier at Superdrug or Boots. So unless I was making an order from Glossier, then I'm not just going to order Boy Brow on its own. So I would definitely say this is a pretty good dupe. It's not identical, but it's doing what I need it to do, and I would buy it again. So I'm definitely going to put this in my favourites, and I would pick it up again if like Boy Brow was to be discontinued or something. Then I would probably just move on to this. e.l.f. Wow Brow, very good. And finally, the last two things I'm going to speak about are, what's the word I'm looking for? Like sustainable products, like let's be good to the earth type things. I literally today have used my last cotton pad. I haven't bought any in months. I stopped using wipes, I want to say about 6 weeks ago. That was probably the last packet of wipes that I used. I had like a pack. I don't use them religiously anyway. It would only be every now and again, maybe when I couldn't be bothered to go in and cleanse my face appropriately. But on days like that, I generally wouldn't have been wearing makeup anyway. I maybe had a bare face and just thought I'll wipe my face before I go to bed. And I've decided that I will stop buying cotton pads and face wipes altogether. I decided a good few months ago that I was going to stop doing that, and today I have used my final cotton pad. So what have I been using? I hear you all, you're dying to ask me. But I've been using the Eco Panda. Now I got these off Amazon. They're in a lovely little bamboo box. Eco Panda cotton pads. Now I'll just show you one. That's one there. They're very sweet actually. They've got like this little tag on every single one. I don't know if that's like necessary, but they're very nice. You're able, I think this came with 18 cotton pads I want to say, and then they come in a little bag. You wash them, there we go, that's my wee bag there. You put this in the bag, in the washing machine, wash them, and bring them out and reuse them, and I think they're wonderful. I generally don't use cotton pads to take off my makeup. Maybe now and again, if I'm doing something a little bit heavier, I'll use a micellar water to take off some makeup, but it's not routinely what I do. I do usually use a cleansing balm, but what I do use cotton pads for is for my toners. Anything like that, toners, waters, stuff like that, I will spray it onto a cotton pad and use it that way. So I think these are so cute. I think they're very nice, and I think it's a great way to kind of stop buying them. Will I never buy cotton pads again? I can't say that, because I'm not going to take this on holiday with me. I may have to pick up a little mini pack of ones whenever I go through the airport or something like that. I could take the little bag with me, but then if you're on holiday, you're not going to wash them on holiday, and do you want to bring back soaking pads? And I don't know. I think I need to see about that. But as for the moment, this will continue to sit on my vanity, at my nightstand, things like that, and I will continue to use these. and I think they're really, really good. So I will put their link below. I'll put the Amazon link, and they are called the Eco Panda. They're very, very nice. And the next thing is muslin cloths. I have used muslin cloths for a long time. This is no big surprise. I've been using them basically, oh god, how long has it been? Maybe about 4 years I've been using a muslin cloth, but not religiously. As I say, I would be more inclined to be like, all right, we'll take off micellar water, we'll cleanse balm, use a flannel, etc. But I feel now like you can get these things so cheap on Amazon. Why not buy them and then just put them in the washing machine with your other wipes and things like that? A lot of people will kind of be like, oh well, if you're washing more often, then where's the, like, people will say it to people who do terry towel and nappies as well. Oh, if you're doing more washing, then actually is it sustainable that way? I don't have a child, so I don't know, but I just throw them in the cotton pads and the muslin cloths with my wipes anyway, and it comes out clean. They don't come out with any marks on them, so I have to say it works for me. The only thing I have to say, I got these from a company called With Nature Skincare, and this is a pack of 3 gentle muslin cloths. Every pack came in plastic wrapping, which I thought was kind of like, does this not like defeat the purpose of not using disposable wipes? That's the only thing I have to say about it. With Nature Skincare, I did leave them kind of feedback on that topic, because I think I got maybe 18 to 20 cloths. There was 3 in a pack, so maybe 21 cloths. And I actually gave a pack away to a friend. I gave a pack to my mum because I was like, I'm never going to need all them. And at the moment on rotation, I think I've got 6, and this is another pack here. So there's going to be enough there to do me, but every single 3 cloths came wrapped like that, and I thought that was a bit silly. What's the point in that? It's all been sent in so much plastic wrapping. Little bit silly. That's my only grumble about it. But otherwise, it's spot on. I like it. I'm glad I'm doing my little tiny bit. You know, we started buying paper straws and all that kind of stuff a long time ago too. Probably should buy some metal ones, so I'm not really doing things like that. I'm not yet onto what do you call them? Moon cup? One of those things. I'm not onto them yet. I don't know how I feel about the period pants. I'm not against anybody who wants to wear them. I think to each their own. I think it really depends on you and your body and what you feel works for you. I would like to look into a little bit more sustainable way of doing things like that. I try my best to do other things, but it's so difficult. I know people would argue the point with me. Really staunch people who are like super duper eco, doing everything correctly, would argue with me. But sometimes it can be difficult. I go into the supermarket, I want to buy a cucumber, and the cucumber is vacuum packed in plastic. Why? It has skin. Like, why does it need to be in plastic? Why do my apples need to be in a plastic bag? Why is it more expensive to buy a bag of potatoes, sorry, not a bag of potatoes. So if you buy a bag of potatoes, you know, and you're a big family or whatever, you maybe think you need to do that. But you buy a bag of potatoes and it's cheaper to do that than buy single potatoes. Now, me and Alan are just a couple. There's only 2 of us. And I would rather go and buy, you know, 3 bigger potatoes and be able to cut them up, use them different ways, make it as a potato, whatever way you want. And it probably would cost us more money to buy 3 large potatoes than it is to buy a bag, because they don't offer that week, but the bag comes in plastic. So I think in the grand scheme of things, big companies need to make changes. We can all make changes and every step counts, but it's very difficult sometimes, and I do find it difficult. And you know, I might even buy the 2 individual potatoes because I don't want to waste food sometimes, and we won't eat the whole bag of potatoes. But when that's on the offer, what do you expect a family to do? Like, they're not going to pick up 2 single potatoes when they need 10 for a big family. They're going to pick up the cheaper bag in the plastic. So really, companies need to look into what they're doing as well. But if I can do my little bit, that was getting all really political there, wasn't it? But I'm not a big like preacher. I don't like to preach to people. If you want to do you and you're happy with what you're doing, good on you. I'm just letting you know what I'm doing, and they were my favourites this month, so I thought I would give you a little explanation. Anyway, that is it. Thank you very much for watching. I will have a summer lookbook on IGTV, so if you're not following me over there, please go over and follow me over on Instagram. That would be lovely. And otherwise, I think I am going to have a bullet journal this month because as of my earrings, I'm going to do a bee theme, and because it's very hot outside for August, I thought bees would be nice. And what else? I was going to do a 10x10 capsule wardrobe video. Now let me know what you think about that. I was probably going to do a summer one because clearly it's summer. Maybe a little bit behind because next week it'll be snowing in Scotland again. But I was going to do a kind of 10x10 capsule wardrobe thing. Otherwise, thank you again. I've already said thanks for watching, sorry. And I'll see you again soon. Thanks, bye.